Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Rob Montgomery in Berlin, and we're doing some testing with the Teradek Live Air Action app and 2 iPhones running the remote camera app. And we're trying to find the best settings for the bit rate, the resolution, lockdown manual exposure and focus. So, even if a one-man band here can turn this on and go live to any platform using the app right here on the iPad. Can do all the switching between the shots and the title graphics, for example. And that's what we're really interested in doing. Well, we're doing it for a client in Austria, a big publishing house wants to set up a studio like this in their newsroom so they can do lives and we can develop some show programming with them. So without further ado, I just wanted to go back to the main shot, camera 1. And the things we're looking for are, of course, the audio, which is coming over a wireless Sennheiser AVX right into the iPhone. What do the skin tones, are they good? Are they consistent? I mean, it's just me, so I realize I'm probably not the one to be on camera. How do graphics look, overlays, and titles? Are they crisp? Are they clear? Those are the kinds of things we're looking at testing. How does that fade in? Does that fade out smoothly? What's it look like when we crossfade to camera 2? Is the edge detail holding? How are the highlights? Now see, this one is not in manual exposure, so I'm going to try and take it out of auto and lock down the ISO. I've got the ISO locked down right now to about 38.17. That looks pretty golden, pretty nice. And for, especially for your piece to camera shot, that's important to keep steady and fixed. You don't want autofocus, auto exposure, auto white balance, constantly changing things as the the subject might move in and out of where you have the focus and exposure reticles placed. So just little touches for professional television production with iOS devices. Here's a little bit more, a pre-recorded clip where you can see a little bit of what we're trying to go for and how you can get started doing this.
So now we're going to use the Teradek app for the iPad, Live Air Action, to add our iPhone camera sources. On the lower section is the sources, and you can add a new source. And your iPhone running the Live Air Remote app is technically now a Teradek device. So this is where we will add our 2 iPhone cameras. One which is fixed for the host to directly address the audience, and the other is an Osmo Action Cam where the host, in this case me, can switch to during the broadcast to show close-up shots and motion shots from items on the table, for example. So that's what we've got set up. We've got an iPhone 6 Plus as camera 1 and an iPhone 6s Plus set up as the Osmo Cam. It's on an Osmo Mobile and nothing else. So both of those devices are running the remote app, which is free. You download it from the App Store. So let's start with camera 1. I can choose camera 1. There's a green frame border, and I click Done. And now camera 1 will be added as a source list. And you can see there's a little bit of a delay there. Hi, everyone. I'm down there in that little window. And if you press and hold, you can see some of the settings. Now, I've set it up for automatic setup in the remote app. And at 720p, which is high definition, I told it to use the settings I showed in the other video, and this is what's now going to be coming in. So it looks good, it's identified, it's live, it's a source. And the always on there is for the microphone. So basically I have a Sennheiser AVX wireless mic that I use to attach to me, the host, and the receiver is attached to camera 1, and it's got an SC4 Rode adapter cable, so it will go from the AVX right into the iPhone. And so that should sync up for the main dialogue. And I want to make sure, and I'll show you later, how I want that to be the only mic used in this 2-camera setup. 2 cameras is pretty typical for a live television production. Now I'm going to add the second source. I'm going to click done there on camera 1. I'm going to go to add new source on the bottom. Again, my Osmo Cam is now a Teradek device as well. So I will select by tapping on the Osmo, get a green frame to confirm, and go done. Now, if you have other Teradek devices, if you've got an HD cam connected to one of their devices that will broadcast on your Wi-Fi network, then it will also show up as another device. So now I've got my 2 cameras, Cam 1 and Osmo. And you wonder, how did I get those names? Well, that was in the Remote Air app on each phone. I was able to give it a custom name. So when I'm in here in the Live Air Action app on the iPad, I can see those names, and I know exactly which camera I'm talking about. So now if I go and tap and hold, press and hold, here on the Osmo app, I can see its settings are very similar, identical in fact, to camera 1. And that's it. If that's all I wanted to do, if I just tap on that source, it'll go up in the preview. If I tap on the cut, it will go into the program, which is what the viewers will see, the audience will see. And I can then tap on that source for the Osmo, and now I'm ready to, when I'm ready to cut, that shot is already preloaded. You can see with the Osmo, I'm letting the Osmo do the stabilization. Let me just turn the Osmo Mobile on. I'm letting that Osmo Mobile do the stabilization. So in the remote app, I made sure I turned the optical image stabilization from the iPhone off. So I'm going to let that, see, even if I move my hands, that shot doesn't move so much. And that will allow me then to show my audience some shots here. And when I want to switch to that, I just tap on the cut and it will go live during the broadcast. So basically, as a host, I've got everything set up here, and I can switch right here on the iPad. All of the television production is done right here. And in the next tutorials, I will show you how you can set up also some overlays like this, so that when you want to send those out, you can have some overlays, you can have a logo, or if you've got some show graphics, you can preview that and also cut to that when you want to. And that might be good for the opening segment. On this one, we might be talking about the Osmo Mobile, for example. But I could always preload my next shot and say, hey, I'd like to talk about my book, blah, blah, blah. So it's really cool. You set up your sources first, then you set up your graphic overlays, and you can also add pre-recorded clips. So I want to show you that in another tutorial. It's basically just adding another source. So this is a quick way to get started with the Teradek Live Air Action app running on an iPad Pro in this case, and just 2 repurposed iPhones, some iPhone 6s that you may have lying around.
Welcome back. That is what we're really looking at, and it's a really amazing system to be able to have everything you're used to in a much bigger control room right into your fingertips in the iPad app. It is a little bit frustrating to kind of go through and dig through some of the sub-menus with Teradek stuff, but you can find most everything. What I can't find is the camera controls where I can lock, focus, and exposure or manually control them with the app here. I have to do that from behind each camera and set that manually. So that's a little bit tough to do here, even more trial and error and making settings and testing when it's just me. You know, if you got a camera operator, it's a little easier. If you got a tech, it's even easier. If you got to do it all yourself, well, welcome to the Smart Film School. That's what we do. We figure it out, and we teach you how to do it in our online courses and workshops around the world. I'm going to be at NAB, National Association for Broadcasters, which is like the annual event for radio, TV, film production in Las Vegas in April. I will be there presumably to put on 3 days of mobile journalism workshops, the first time that track has ever been offered at NAB. So that is kind of disruptive and groundbreaking and about time. I can't wait to be there. If not, I'll see you somewhere else online, on Twitter, on Facebook. We're everywhere at thesmartfilmschool.com. My name is Rob Montgomery, and, well, happy filming.